Hey everybody. So I have some free time here, so I figured I would do a impromptu hobby stream and yeah, see who's interested in hanging out. So yeah, just working on some crisis suits that I've been working on for a long period of time. Yeah. So these guys are all based and everything. I've done my washes. I just need to start actually doing my highlighting and doing some cleanup work. Um, I have, let's see, what can you see? I have a couple crisis suits here. I painted up all their, this is from a batch of 6. So I painted the other 4 for a tournament a while ago, and then never really did anything with these 2. So I'm bringing those 2 up to snuff. I got an old failcast commander. So this is actually this is actually a commander. You know, I bought this commander right when that kit came out, and it actually was really bad. So you can actually see a bunch of the miscasting here, a misalignment of the mold. So there's a really big chasm right here. There's really severe misalignment of the thrusters here as well. The whole torso was pretty bad, and there's also some misalignment here on this leg as well. And then also the shoulder pad here has some pretty heavy marking on it as well. So all around a really problematic cast. And so when I got that, this was at the time that Games Workshop was pretty freely replacing kits that came out with problems like that. So I went ahead and contacted them, and they sent me replacement parts, but I had all these extra pieces lying around. So I kind of cobbled together the crummy pieces of that original model, and then a few bits from here and there, and was able to get something else together, which is this guy here. But of course, you know, the original model that I had of this is so back heavy. I had to weight the base to keep it from falling over. This guy has a little bit greater stability. And then I have a Cold Star here that I'm working on as well. So just doing highlights on all these guys. Cool. Have I finally done something with that Riptide box? No, it's sitting right there. It's still sitting back on my wall. No, I'm actually, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll give that away. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it together. Yeah, it is just an empty box, guys. I never said there was a Riptide in there. It's just a Riptide box. Still, you know, still sealed. Wouldn't that be something if I've been duped and it's not even, there's not even actually a Riptide in there? It's like an old newspaper or something. Cool. So where am I at? Oh, I did kind of a not so awesome Dawnstone layer on my blacks here that I really should have done Eshing Gray first, but I was greedy and just did Dawnstone. It's not Riptide. You get 1 Crude Hound. The fine cast Crude Hounds too. When they came out with the fine cast Crude Hounds, I bought like four blisters of that. I don't know. I have like 16 Crude Hounds or something like that. I bought a bunch of Crude Hounds just because I felt like I needed to, because they were new Crude. They're fine cast Crude, so I need to buy some. I don't know. Those are all painted though. I was so excited about those Crude. I need, you know, and this was at a time when you wanted Crude Hounds to make your Crude outflank correctly. So yeah. But I didn't need 16 of them, I'll tell you that. I need like 3. Do I ever think the Rail Hammerhead will be brought back to its former glory? You know, maybe. honestly, this would be the addition for it to happen. This is it's kind of all bets are off right now, because of how they're changing weapon profiles. So crude hound reveal. You just want to see all the crude hounds. um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, strength 12 would be cool for a railgun. I don't think that'd be necessarily broken, right? Like if it's going to stay as a single shot, like that shot should be significant. So I don't think like strength 12 would be totally unreasonable for a railgun. Sure. You gotta see that. I gotta get my fix of those crude hounds. All right. Well, let me do this a little bit, and then I'll show you guys the crude hounds. We'll get them out. Yeah, a crude army would be sweet. I had to go back and I had to. Speaking of Finecast, I had to go back and fix my Farside model here because I played a game 2 weeks ago. Got my first. I got my first game of 9th edition in, right. Finally got into it. And I brought Farsight, and I don't know the last time I did that. But I brought him, and of course his plasma rifle was touching the ground. He had bent so badly because of heat exposure. So I had to go back and fix him. And when I exposed him to warm water, that messed with the wash on him. So it ended up looking all sorts of foggy. So I had to go back and reapply a thin layer of wash on him to get those foggy spots to go away. Which, yeah, I guess if you end up ever having like a wash look kind of cloudy, that's just like a temperature effect or something like that. It's a weird way that the wash will dry under certain conditions, and so you can just fix that by re-wetting it with wash again. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing I was with my wife in the local game store when the White Dwarf previewing Farsight came out. I told her that it was my favorite model at the time. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I think I bought that White Dwarf just because of that. So kind of the way that I do exactly the way that I do my color schemes is for the normal dudes, the heads are Dawnstone, but for people that are of higher rank than their compatriots, I use Administratum Gray, which is also a color I use to highlight Dawnstone. Right, Dawnstone, yeah. No, the community with Phil Kelly. No, I haven't seen that yet. It's on my list of things to listen to. What did it say? Is it good? Is it worth my time? I guess the better question there is just like, how much do I like Farsight? And if I like Farsight enough, then anything that even mentions the word Farsight is worth my time, right? The base is here, so of course it's just a normal base, and then this is actually here. Where I have some of it over here. It's just cork. So you can buy these at like a hobby store. Generally, they are used for coasters, like to put your beverage on. That's what this was originally. I think I can't remember if this was a circle one or a square one. Doesn't matter. You're gonna rip it up anyway. So just rip that up and throw that on with some sand, and that's the base. Also, this is why I never get anything done, guys. They just talk about stuff too much. Oh, okay. So, you know, you can obviously you could paint your bases with, you know, GW paints or you know, even if you wanted to get like the cheapo arts and craft type paint, you can do that. But what I've done, and this is probably actually even cheaper than doing the arts and craft stuff, is go and just get like a throwaway, what do they call them? I don't know. If you go to your hardware store, they're making paints all the time, right? And sometimes those paints don't turn out the right way. Either people return them or they're just not the right color or whatever. And it's, you know, they can't do anything with that paint. So what they do is they put it on a shelf and say, hey, here's this big thing of paint for a tiny fraction of the cost if you want it. And so that's what this is just some brown that somebody wanted that they returned and I got for like 50 cents or something. So it's a really thick paint. And so I water it down a little bit and put that on my base. And that, you know, is a cheap thing to use, but also is thick enough that it really holds the sand down. One of the big problems I always run into is that, I mean, you can even kind of see it here on this Cold Star, right? Like I put the sand down and then because it takes me forever to paint stuff, you know, by the time I get to around painting it, a lot of that sand has started to wear away a little bit. And so when I put that thicker paint on, it seals in that sand and prevents it from you know, getting rubbed off. Yeah. Yeah, I probably just need to use more white glue when I put the sand on, but white glue is expensive, man. Okay. Yes. All right. What was I doing? No. Okay. Right. Yes, this is okay. I recall what I was doing. I was just touching up a couple of the darker spots here with administrative gray before I move on to doing the highlights on different parts of the model. So doing just a little bit here and there. And when I paint, I probably take an oversimplified approach to highlighting. You know, not every surface needs to be highlighted, and you know, I don't think that's a profound observation or anything, but not every surface needs to be highlighted. And so I think, you know, especially with how there can be an incentive to, or you know, a draw to over highlight because there's so many sharp edges, but not every edge is going to catch the light the same way. And so if you highlight every edge, you're going to end up getting kind of you're going to get some strange lighting of your model. So like I'm edge highlighting here, but really this should be more diffuse. There should be more gray on this arm right here. There should be a sharper edge down here too. So I'm probably going to have to go back and change that. I was going too fast. I didn't give that enough attention. Yeah, contrast paints do give their own highlighting, which is nice. I'm actually, so after I'm done painting these guys, I have a whole pile of drones over here that I need to paint. I don't think I'm going to paint them, though. I think I'm going to go and do some Tyranids whenever I get done with this, with these suits here. Because I want my Tyranids, originally envisioned my Tyranid army as kind of being like a showcase army, in the sense that I was going to spend a lot of time on each model, which totally makes sense for a low model count army like Tyranids. But then I got to a point where that wasn't going to be the case, and now I haven't used I have the contrast paints for my color scheme for them. I just haven't used yet, and so I kind of just thinking about it, I would really like to try that out. That seems like some models that could really do well with some contrast. Their contrast works really well on organic surfaces, and gosh darn it, those Tyranids, they got those organic surfaces now, don't they? Yeah, just put contrast on it. It's beautiful. Done. No further action required. One of the things that I always think is kind of fun with these crisis suits is painting the hands. I don't know why. Maybe this is how like people that play Imperium feel all the time, is they have all these hands to paint. I don't know, but I think the hands offer. This is going to get into a weird live stream real fast, guys. Let's talk about hands. No, I think the hands just have kind of a different geometry about them than the rest of the suit. It's a little bit more interesting, I think. The highlighting is different. So I think they're fun. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're not, guys. We're not. This is not a feed channel. I'm sorry. We will be transitioning in the new year to ASMR. So hopefully you are up for some calming Kroot shrills and Eldari whispers, because that's what you're going to be getting starting in 2021. See, like, I feel like this is way under highlighted. I was in a hurry when I did this, and I totally neglected this side of the. Oh, you guys can't even see. I totally neglected this half of the model here. By the way, you guys want? Okay, you really want to see the Kroot hounds? I will do some highlighting here on this cold start, and then we'll do the Kroot hounds, and we'll come back to painting. Okay. But thinking a commander is a must-have. So like commanders have two things going for them. One is that just them being commanders, right? Like being a character is still powerful. It's not as powerful as it used to be. It's still good though. Cold stars have the mobility, which I think is probably even more valuable. But like they're good. They they have a 2-up weapon skill, whatever. And they're going to stick on the table probably longer than a crisis suit would. So there's definitely something to be said for commanders just by themselves. But the Master of War ability as well as things like command and control node, are I think really important tools, and ones that, even though people talk about commanders as being important for their ballistic skill, are just as important, because that those buffs that they provide impact your whole army, to some extent. And so I mean I kind of think that commanders are a requirement. I think you should have at least one. I don't know, maybe my opinion will change here as things go on. I think if you're going to bring something other than a commander, it should probably be an ethereal. I don't think Hydra Fireblades really can pull their weight right now, just because of you can't do the same types of castling that you would do for in 8th edition to really get the most out of a Fireblade. So that was one like with COVID and everything. One of the things I was disappointed about was that I didn't get to do all the fun things I had planned for April Fools last year. It's just wasn't going to happen with, or I guess this year, right? This year's April Fools, I wasn't going to have time for doing any of the things I wanted to do. But there's always next year. So in case you haven't figured it out, there might actually be some 40k ASMR in our future next April. We'll find out. Actually, I had like 5 different videos I was going to do just for April Fools. All right. Yeah, so are they going to announce an upcoming Codex on Saturday? I mean, they're going to announce something, right? I would be surprised if it was going to be a Tau Codex. I have a feeling that, I mean, I don't know, maybe. Kind of feel like it's going to be a different, kind of feel like they're going to do, they're going to announce like stuff about the different Marine chapters. But I mean, and just that, I think maybe like the new stuff is going to be like, oh, Blood Angels are going to get their Codex in I don't know, February or something. I don't know. Kind of seems like that might be the angle they're going for, but if they're going to do something else, I would tend to think it would be. I tend to think like maybe Chaos Space Marines and Eldar kind of seem like they would be close behind. Zach, that's a fantastic idea. I love that idea. All right, as you guys know from video 3, all you have to do to win is this one simple thing. So yeah, I totally. Okay, we got to fix this. We got to do a little bit of follow up here before we get the crude hounds out. I got to do, guys. I'm going to tease you with those hounds. It's like some reality show fundraiser. Like, all right, guys, I'll show you what you want to see. We just got to get a few more pledges in here, and then you get to see the good stuff. The crude hounds. Oh, someone just joining the stream is very confused. So that's fine. Like this needs some attention right there. See something over there. Hit this line down here. A little bit over here on the ball of the foot. I think makes sense. By the way, you know, the last video was you know, kind of different for the channel. Certainly, not kind of different, certainly different. And I really appreciate all the positive feedback that I got. Obviously, not all of it was positive. That's fine. I do want to clarify. I do want to clarify though that, like, I don't think there's anything really malicious going on. I think the most likely explanation is the simplest, and that is that I'm just not getting email back for a myriad of reasons. So those of you that you know, left some nice words in the comment section, just want to let you know I did read them and I appreciate it. So thank you. There will be intimate detail of crew hound bodies. We will go over that crew hound inch by inch with intricate descriptions of hound anatomy. Because that is the only way to assess a hound. You know, I said we're not a feed channel, but I am spending a lot of time on these legs. I mean, not a lot of time. By typical painting timelines, but that's all the stream has been so far is legs. So, you know, I guess I can say this isn't a foot channel all I want, but if all we do is do legs and feet, I mean, I guess the proof is in the pudding, huh? You can't. Those are facts. You can't make that. You can't argue. I mean, you can. Current reality. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why we have hobbies. Right. Oh, this is getting kind of messy. I don't like that. I don't like how that's going. Okay. All right, I think that's sufficient. Let's get these little parts down there. Okay. How many unfinished models do I just have laying around? Well, I have a whole tiger shark over here. I have some 3D prints over there. I have a Wargame exclusive dude right here. I have a couple Pathfinders with rail guns. I got a recon drone that's like horribly neglected and just sitting here. I have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 drones sitting right there. A whole pile of weapons right here. And then, like, you know, who knows what sitting back over there. All right. Okay, so we did that gray. We're gonna finish up this gray here. Now I overwatered my brush. Okay, so these are some Red Dog Mini like dual fusion blaster things that I use for fusion blasters on my Cold Star. And then I printed these energy effects from Deadly Print Studio. So they can either be fusion blasters or fusion blades. Is kind of the idea here. Okay, it's probably good enough. I don't know. Does anybody remember when I did this thing? Did a giveaway like with, it was about like underappreciated units or something, and so I like I did this. I put a cape on a shield drone. So superhero shield drone, and he's just kind of sat there neglected ever since. So yeah. All right. So what happened to those hounds? Let's dig them out. Let's find some hounds. Do a stream, they said. It'll be a good way to get some painting done, they said. Sure. Okay. Okay, it's not as many houses as I thought it was, but it is a 3, 6, 9. It's 12 hounds. I'm sorry. I exaggerated a little bit. Okay, so let's get some drones in here. Okay, or drones, not drones, puppers. Okay, so that one's metal. This one's fine cast. This one's fine cast. Let's get these out of the way. Fine cast. Fine cast. Fine cast. Metal. Fine cast. Metal. Fine cast. Fine cast. And metal. Hey, you got another metal. Okay. Oh, I have like a bunch of. I forgot I had these guys. So I have a bunch of like striking scorpions in here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So got some hounds. Let's get these eyes down here. So, all right. So this is a typical hound. All right. You'll notice we have relatively bluish flesh here. Bit of a veiny throat. The pupil, the eyes here are a bright orange color in contrast to the rest of the flesh tones. There's no distinguishing underside features other than the ribbing here, and the quills on the back are a distinct tan bone color. So you'll see that those protrude through the length of the body. The interior of the hound is a off green color that's in congruence with the relatively blue shading of the rest of the animal. You can imagine that as the as blood flows more densely in some of these more venous tissues like the tongue here, the color is going to be slightly different. So that's why you see that different shading on the interior. Yes. We have some ammunition and containers associated with this hound as well. That's an addition to the hound that makes them a little bit more useful. Not only are they vicious creatures, but they can also serve as pack animals. Yes. Okay. Right. What else? So this one has like hooks, right? Um, okay. So this is actually the first hound I painted a long time ago. I probably like painted this with a toothpick or something. I don't know. Um, so at the time I was trying to do a little bit more of a differentiation with the underside. So you'll see that it has like that kind of bleached bone coloring on the bottom, and then the quills are like an ice blue instead of a bone color. So I painted that guy, and then when I got all those fine casts, I started again, and this was actually the first one I painted after that was this green one because I was trying out some different color combinations, and obviously I didn't like how this turned out. But you'll see this color actually shows back up with. Actually, I don't have those anymore. I used to have a bunch of elder jet bikes that were this color instead. Uh, but then I settled back on a more traditional blue color that is the same as my other crew. Which I probably should rebase these at some point. They're base green. They have flocking on them, totally different than everything else in my army. And I've actually been back in like 6th or 7th edition, I got docked. I would get docked hobby points because the basing wasn't consistent because of that. So I mean, it looks weird. The idea was that these are Kroot, not Tau, so they should have different bait. They're different, so the contrast was meant to be intentional. But yeah, that really doesn't work great on the tabletop though. Okay, so 12 Kroot hounds. I mean, that's a fine number, right? That's probably 12 more than I need. All right. Right. Yeah. I think I just would rather spend the points on something else though. Yeah. So predictions for Saturday, huh? I mean, I feel like they're probably going to talk. They're going to talk about other marine factions, right? I don't know. It's kind of this weird thing, right? Where with all the 9th edition stuff, I keep expecting to be underwhelmed, and I mean that's not a sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, right? So, but I'm never disappointed if I don't expect too much, which is like a really sad perspective if you're applying it to other things. But this is just for fun, so it's okay. Right, but yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to be anything ground shaking, right? It's not going to be anything super crazy. Watch is going to be like, okay, guys, we're doing Marines, we're doing Necrons, you know that. But in December, we're doing 10 codices or something like that. Like you thought 2 a month was insane. Get ready for 10 a month. It's gonna be done 2 months. Everybody gets a codex. All right. I don't know what should I do now. Ooh, a codex roadmap would be cool. Like I feel like I don't know. Would they do? Remember when they used to do the advent calendar stuff? And most of the time it was just like fluffy things, and then sometimes it would be sometimes it would be like the Firebase support cadre or whatever. Just like insanely powerful detachment. Like, oh, here's some awesome rules, and then here's a short story about a guardsman and or whatever. Like, just totally, totally all over the place with the demographic or the kind of the target audience for the for the stuff that they're putting out for the advent calendar. Uh, but it had you glued to your seat. Who I hope shows up? James Workshop. That man, James Workshop. I want more of that. I'd be happy if they just made that their standard way of communicating with us. Don't get me wrong, I like the live streams, but if it was just James Workshop there, I would I'd pay a little bit more attention. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think they'll talk about. I think it's very likely that they'll talk about their general approach to codexes. Um, so I think we'll have some idea of if we're talking about, 6 months or a year or 3 years for. I mean, it's not going to be 3 years, right? We're going to have 10th edition in 3 years, but I think we'll have some idea of the timeline. And maybe that's all they're going to do, right? Like maybe that's what they are primarily trying to focus on here, is not telling us any specifics, but telling us generally what's going to be happening. I think that's a pretty likely part of the announcement on Saturday. It's just that kind of general approach information. Yeah, a few new kids. Yeah, I think they're going to show us a few new things, right? Like Valrak was saying that he really hopes that they're going to do the land speeder, and I think that would make sense, right? Like that's like the one new Primaris thing that we've seen pictures of that we haven't actually seen real pictures of. We haven't seen potato can pictures of. So yeah, I think I would hope that they would give us some information on the new land speeder. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a new codex at least a week before 10th edition. I mean, maybe 2 weeks. Something like that, right? I mean, Vespid. I just have my 1 unit of Vespid, my 1 box of Vespid that I got when they came out. Yeah, Vespid. If they are, come on, there's actually a fair number of units in the Tau Codex that need a new model. Vespid is certainly one of them. Crew don't really need a new model, right? I would like one. I'd like a more diverse kit, but they don't need it. I'd like to see new crew units that would have a new multi-part kit. That would be cool. But really, Vespid need it. We need new sniper drones and a marksman. Anything that's Vinecast right now needs to be replaced. We need a new Farsight model, which is a shame because this one is really cool. It's just not up to current standards. So, I mean, it's kind of surprising, right? It's kind of surprising that this kit, the Cold Start kit, didn't also have some bits for Farsight, right? You would only need two different. You'd only need to put the shield and the Dom blade on there, really. I mean, it's not going to look. It would look a lot cooler if there's all the other aspects of it, but really they could have done it here. It's a little surprising that they didn't. So Farsight came out in it was like 2013, 2012. Definitely wasn't 2015. It was definitely several years before that. At least 1 year before that. Right, Farsight is a crisis commander, not a Cold Start commander. But I would think that they would give him a modified enforcer suit or something. I don't know. Really, was it? I mean, was it 2010 or 2011 then that they came out with Farsight? It might have been. I don't think it was 2010. It was 2011 or 2012. Oh, it must. No, yeah, it must. No, it was 2013. It was 2013 because I started the channel in 2013. Yeah. So I think it's 2013 is my guess for when this Farsight was released. Okay, I got some crappy gray highlighting done on my black. New Shadow Sun is the most recent. You're right. Okay. I guess I'll just keep highlighting gray. I guess that's what I'm doing. I was gonna have a beverage while I did this. Forgot. Oh well. Just have to have a beverage by myself later. All right. Back to it. Let's get this administrative gray going again. Okay, let's do it. We'll go with this guy. Has a Vespa medal ever been updated? No, it is not. Okay. Ow. So you really should probably get it. I need to use a different brush for this. You really shouldn't. It's okay to use multiple brushes. I keep having to remind myself that. In fact, it probably makes you a much better painter if you use multiple brushes. Because then you get different line widths and you get different textures. Different tools for different jobs type of thing. Not me. Gonna use one brush to paint the whole thing. All right. Yes, I do need a different brush and a beverage. That'd be nice if they do both. Is there? I am not the person to ask about brush sets. I am the person that buys the brush that's on sale at the hobby store. But I am very curious if you guys have recommendations, because people swear by certain types of brushes, and there's probably there's got to be a reason for it, right? Like they got to do something to help you. And I don't know if it's about how well they hold up or how well they apply the paint or dry out or whatever, but so if you guys have recommendations, see, like, oh, this is just getting gross right here. Not working. Not working at all. Tip is all messed up. Not okay. Show us. Okay, you can't just do that the clappy thing and have me show you random things from my random things from my office. Okay, so the red question. So these are all primed with Army Painter Red Dragon, and then they are airbrushed with Vallejo Gory Red, and that gives them. Like the whole reason why I have to do that is because I used to the original paint scheme I had was using Red Gore from the old Citadel line, and then they have the new Citadel line, which is like 10 years old at this point. The equivalent's supposed to be Wazdaka Red. Well, that's totally not the same paint. I made a whole video complaining about this, I think. So I don't use Wazdaka Red. I use this Gory Red over the Army Painter Red, and I think that gets us pretty close. And then I airbrush highlights with this hot orange from Vallejo. Pretty lightly, but I hit it on, like you can kind of see here, like on the back of these thrusters are a little orange, so it's kind of some general highlighting there. But like on the back of this Cold Star, it's a lot more severe. Like the tips of these fins are orange compared to the red in front. And then I highlighted up using a mix of Gory Red and then Evil Sun Scarlet, and then a mix of Evil Sun Scarlet and that hot orange. And then eventually I do some really fine highlighting with what oh god Luganath orange. I've never actually read the name of this paint. Luganath. I don't know, what is that? Is that a fantasy thing? Or is that somebody tell me. What's Luganath? Have I ever modeled the Talisman of Arthas Moloch? No, I haven't. I was just thinking about it last night. I can't believe that there's not like just an STL of an Onager gauntlet out there. Spent some time looking. I think I found one, but it was something on a site you had to pay for, not just a free STL hanging around. So there should be an STL of an Onager gauntlet. Come on. Corn red is not equivalent to red gore. That is fake news. Corn red is not the same. Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, Shapeways is one, but no file for it. Yeah, exactly. All right. What other brushes do I have laying around here? Oh, I got this brush a while ago. I've done an okay job preserving it. I still use the little straw thing on there. I don't know. Is it time? Are we doing the types of details that's appropriate? I don't think we're there yet. I think we got to save it for the next round of highlights. Right. Yeah, I think the Onager Gauntlet. I would like an Onager Gauntlet model. I've seen lots of really nice conversions for those. I think that's a nice one. I've seen our Talisman of Arthas Moloch conversions as well, and I always think, very nice work. Looks, obviously taking a lot of time and effort, but I always think that they just kind of look a little, I don't know. Like the ones that I think of are like ones where they have like a giant chain around the crisis suit neck and then like this giant thing just hanging down. It just it's just not for me. So and I don't know exactly what a great what it would look like, what would be a good conversion for that. But I don't think I would pursue something like that. Okay. All right. What else? Oh yeah, like a purity seal. That would be kind of cool. Right. Yeah. Okay. So should I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of want to do a video like looking at different tile weapons and like guessing at what their new profiles could be. Seems kind of boring though, and like totally speculative, which it's fine. I feel like there's got to be like a fun way to do that, right? What if that sounds like way too much work. I was gonna say it would be kind of interesting to go and look, because the point efficiency video that I did was pretty well received. It'd be kind of interesting to go and like do that again with do that again with hypothesized stat changes and hypothesized point changes, and basically like ask the question, what if like missile pods added extra damage or something, how much would they have to be, how much would their points have to go up for them to still be worth it, or still have the equivalent points for damage ratio, if that makes sense. Like, how much can the points go up in it for any given change in it and have it still be just as good as it is right now? No. Maybe that'd be interesting. Maybe that'd be really tedious. Probably tedious. Yeah. I feel like there's got to be like a cool game where we like randomize things. I have to figure something out. Yeah. Randomize. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I kind of want to play a game with just all of my Ivaras to see if that, like, I mean, that has to work. That has to work most of the time, right? I mean, it will work until it doesn't work, and when it doesn't work, it will not work at all. Yeah, we could talk about marker lights. That'd be a good one to do. The guys over at Frontline are doing a really nice series about like fixing Tau. Is it Abuse Puppy that's writing him? Oh, he just did something about Vespid. Really nice series that I think makes a lot of good points. So if you guys haven't checked that out, you probably should. Because if you're here, you probably like Tau. Watch, there's a whole contingent of people that just hate watching this. Oh man. I don't want to see any more Tau stuff, so I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it all the time. Yeah. I'll show them. If you had to make a list using only a single unit, um, which would be the best unit? Where's the Tau Frontline Gaming thing? It's on Frontline Gaming. I don't know exactly where. But if someone wants to find it and throw it in the comments, that would be cool. Yeah. Oh, 5. Yeah. Yeah, I think, if I had to make a list using, assuming you could make a list with just Evaras, would I take 5 Evaras or 20 broadsides? Probably Evaras, right? That invuln save. It's good stuff. All right, are we good enough that we can move on to another crisis suit, please? I enjoyed the not simplicity, but kind of straightforwardness of painting Tau. Right, it's all panels. Oh, this is going bad. Oh no! Oh, terrible, terrible news. Oh, that got messed up. I like the simplicity of painting Tau. It's all just flat surfaces. But it's also not very. It's not that interesting either. Like it's kind of it's fun. I think it's intuitive. It's not. It's kind of weird. Right, like when I go from painting Tau to painting something else, it feels like just totally. Because it feels like it's just a totally different set of skills. I feel like if I try to paint a different army like I paint Tau, it just doesn't work. Like the way that I move my hand is wrong. I feel like I've been appreciating battle reports a lot more recently, in terms of just like the people that are able to do them and do them well. You know, it's a little bit, you know, for one thing, it's informative, but it's also nice just because those people are able to, you know, kind of help you have some game experience, like, you know, kind of think about the game more in a time when you may not be able to actually get together with people to play games. So before, you know, before it would mostly just be like, oh, this is cool and informative and entertaining. But now there's that extra benefit. Yeah, those faction focus articles. You know, I don't think you're ever going to see a faction focus article that says, "Yeah, this army is totally screwed." But you know what? There are armies that are totally screwed. So what? You know what happened? I mean, the job of the article is to give you insight about what's going on with the army, and like more basic and less applied type of information, right? So it's not necessarily their place to really, or their purpose to be, you know, negative either. But they're also trying to get you excited. You know, everybody should be aware that they're trying to just get you excited about the new thing, right? Too. So, which is fine. It's good even, right? Like, I mean, it's good to, it's like, I would much rather, I love the faction focus type of things because they're fun, they're exciting, they're informative, and they're useful, but they also are not um, comprehensive. Okay, Chris, the suit down. Oh no. Don't worry. I did get paint on my hand. I went through a phase where I just would like always put paint in my hand. I don't. There's probably a reason for that. There's probably actually like a really useful thing I was doing that I've just totally forgotten after, you know, forgetting to, or taking time away from painting. Oh yeah, was it like, I think it was to kind of test the consistency of the paint. Yeah. Oh, I gotta do the. I do. I mean, I kind of wish that they had specific support system models again. Like this is the multi-tracker. But I understand that that's not really practical anymore. Oh no. Just got paint on the little optic there. It's not really practical anymore, and you know, if you like the way one support system looks because it's cooler than the other ones, then you should be you should be able to do that one because it looks cooler. That's fine. The one there are definitely some support systems that I just would not want to put on my suits. I like the classic multi-tracker here. I think this is one that I've always liked, even though it's a very simple thing. I just like how it looks. I'm going to need to fix that optic, though. I'm going to put some green on there. So they did have specific support systems, and then when they came out with these new support systems, these new kits, there was at least an attempt to try to maintain that identity, but there's no official thing that I've seen. No, like on the Tower Empire Facebook group, there's a pinned post that has an image with a bunch of different ones on there, and as far as I'm aware, that's not that's a suggestion. Yeah. Oh, I still have to do this. Oh, I have to do this too. Okay. All right. I don't need any more paint. I have all the paint I need. All right, Doomhound. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. All right. It's kind of crazy to look at this model relative to like this Enforcer versus the Cold Star kit. They're just totally different levels of technology and like modeling technology. It's kind of crazy to think about how different things are between just a few years between here and there. Noticing a lot of like wash areas that need to be cleaned up. Modeling perspective, what's my favorite crisis weapon? I've always I've always liked the Fusion Blaster because there's that art. One of the first art pieces in the Codex was with a crisis suit with 2 Fusion Blasters. I always thought that was really cool. I think also the old cyclic ion blaster was really neat too. don't totally get why they changed the overall look of the cyclic ion blaster. Oh man, what am I even doing here? That looks terrible. That's what most of the stream is me joking about legs and feet, and then saying that what I'm doing is not working. Which I think is how painting is supposed to be, right? I think that's what Duncan always said. I have to say, I thought his YouTube channel would be much more productive. He doesn't put out that much stuff. In case you guys didn't know, Duncan Rhodes is no longer with Games Workshop. He has his own YouTube channel, but doesn't put that much stuff out, I don't think. Subscribe. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna go. It is about dinner time. So, is there any burning questions in the chat? Let me know. Okay. What's the question? I get the reference. I don't know the answer. I don't remember the answer. Sorry. It's actually been quite a while since I watched that. So, all right. That's my call. I will see you guys. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.